Frantic Nerdcast, hosted by AJ and Brock, talking about all the nerdy things that you want to hear about. Let's get into it.
Oh, let's get into it indeed. Back with another episode, number 33, and my God, we've got fun stuff for you frantically in your ears once again.
Oh, we're going to penetrate your ears frantically.
Oh, you just had to go there, didn't you?
I had to go there.
My God, you cannot fucking help yourself.
No, hi, I love you all.
Just fucking icing on the cake, isn't it?
It's just amazing. Okay, so to start off with, as we said in the last two episodes, we've got a game coming out.
We do.
Publishing it under Zendara Games. It's called Underground Dice Races. It is a push your luck dice racing game. Good fun. Essentially, you roll dice, move your car, and then if you want to keep going, you roll less dice and then less dice potentially, and it gets harder and harder to keep going. And if you fail, you go all the way back to where you started. It's really good fun. It's a print and play game.
It is.
If you would like to be a play tester of the game, it's almost ready to go. We just want a couple of people to play test it just so we can fine-tune those little tiny bugs that are left in it that we haven't seen. If you would like to be a playtester, you can email us at playtest@zendaragames.com, or you can head to the Zendara Games Facebook page and just chuck some message down there, or the email is written on there as well.
We'll share some links around at the end, just through Facebook, socials, and what's the other one, Instagram and whatnot. We'll share them around.
And I mean, if you want to be a playtester, you're pretty much getting the finished version of the game for free. So it's well worth it. So jump on there. Also, we got the Patreon. You want to do it, $5 a month. Awesome. It really helps out. If not, that's all good as well. That's really about it for all the little notes and doodles. This is our second version of our shorter play format.
Indeed it is.
So we're looking at about 40-ish minute episodes now instead of our once a week, 1.5 hour long episode. So tell us if you're enjoying this new styling and having 2 episodes a week. If not, we're probably going to keep doing it this way. So thank you for communicating with us anyway.
We've got you.
Yes. All right. Well, we're going to start things off. Let's jump into TV shows. Now, I've got a couple of little rumors going here, and then I've got an announcement that I heard today, which I thought I'd jump into. So I'll jump into the rumor first. So James Spader is set to reprise his role as Ultron in the Disney Plus series for Vision.
This has been absolutely fucking hammering my social media feed.
I am all for it, though. I
100%.
love me some James Spader, man.
100%.
Boston Legal is one of the all-time greatest TV shows ever made, and it's because of James Spader.
I mean, look, James Spader and Paul Bettany alongside each other.
I've mentioned this before when we mentioned Paul Bettany, but Wimbledon is such a good fucking movie. Y'all need to go watch Wimbledon. It is a fantastic film, and I can't believe I just said y'all.
Yeah, what?
I don't think I've ever said y'all in my life. All right, what do you got?
So I have a little rumor. So I've been watching Solo Leveling in the last week or so, and I stumbled across a little rumor that said we're going to get a live action version of it already.
Oh, Thaler.
So happy days.
Yeah.
So have you watched it?
No.
Rate it. Highly. Love the concept. It is really, really fucking cool.
For those of you who don't know what it is, can you share some of your knowledge of the show?
It's an anime called Solo Leveling.
Yeah.
The concept.
What's the concept, sir?
The concept is that there's some gates and whatnot, or some mystical gates that have opened up all around the city for some reason or whatnot. And when you go through the portal, you enter a dungeon. And within those dungeons, there's magical creatures that are all ranked from a level E through to level S. So E up to A is just your ranking from lowest to highest, and then S for some reason is the best. I don't know if it stands for special or something. Haven't got that far. And yeah, the idea is that over time, because they've been there for about a decade now, over time people are now ranked as anywhere from S to E as a hunter, because when the gates turned up,
is this the one?
They got abilities.
Does the dude work for a goddess?
No.
Because there is a show, there's an anime that is very similar to this, where
I'm not surprised at
They
all.
go into a dungeon and then they go. It's like they go down levels in the dungeon.
It's not like that. The dungeons they're much smaller. So the idea is that it like one dungeon through a portal, and it gets that dungeon gets a rank. Call it level E, which is your lowest. You go through, you beat some goblins and some lichens and whatever else, and then you get a boss for that dungeon. Once you beat the boss, that gate starts a timer to close, and you've got that long to get out. Once you're out, dungeon's done. And those portals pop up all over the city or the planet. When those portals first started occurring, humans' innate ability or magical ability started to sort of occur. So some of these, and that's where they get some ability of some kind, whether it's a magical ability, strength, buffs, healings, things like that. And then the idea is that you get, it's called an awakening. An
awakening. Is it really called awakening?
An awakening.
I mean, this doesn't surprise me with anime that it's called awakening.
That's true.
Usually not this type of anime that has awakening in it.
Anywho, we can edit that out later.
We are not going to edit that out later. That is staying in. Brock watches shows with awakenings.
Anywho. So yeah, they awaken, and they get their rank when they awaken, which is your S through to fuck off. I'm just you get your rank from S to E, and that's it. Like you're stuck there. That's what you get no matter what. So what happens is that the main character, he more or less he dies quite early, but he gets a second awakening. However, when this happens, he more or less becomes part of like
how do they wake him up?
A video game. So he becomes, you're a dickhead. He becomes part of, like, almost like a video game. So he actually has HUDs, or like your heads-up display the whole time, which tell him, like, this is your level, you're level 1. And as he beats these monsters and creatures and whatnot, he starts to level up. And as far as he knows, he's the only person who is leveling up and getting stronger and quicker and just better.
This does sound an awful lot like that show. So I can't remember what the fuck it's called. But it sounds like a mixture of that and Sword Art Online.
The concept is really, really cool. When I first seen it, I was kind of like, oh, interesting. But then the more I watch it, the more I'm like, you know what? This is actually really cool. One of those websites.
Oh, one of the websites?
Yep, so cool. One of those websites. But yeah, the concept is really cool. It's got some blood and gore through it as well. The storyline behind it and backing it, it's driving, so it's not stale in my opinion. It's got 12 episodes in season 1, so it's reasonable.
Yeah, pretty standard.
Yeah. I mean, I know that season 2 is meant to be coming, I think, later this year. I think it was. I'm digging it. It's really, really cool.
So are we getting a Western live action or a Japanese live action?
It was Japanese.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool. All right, sounds good. I don't have any other rumors. You got anything else rumor-wise?
Ted Lasso to be renewed for season 4.
I did see this. I did see that it's coming back, but it's not going to be based on Lasso.
So from what I've seen, it keeps bouncing between the original cast coming back and Lasso being one of them or something and whatnot. So it just keeps bouncing. So once it actually gets announced, we'll know.
I honestly don't know how I feel about this.
I think the 3 seasons was just fucking, it was just nicely
It was great.
done.
It was beautiful. It was done in that typical British television style of we know when to end it, we're ending it.
Yeah, 100%.
Last I heard, apparently it was, what's the one that swears all the time? Roy. It was going to be based around Roy now.
Oh, yeah, that'd be sweet.
And Roy and Beard, I think it was. It was
That'd
going
be
to
awesome.
be the main
Because Beard
characters.
stayed, didn't he?
Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I loved it. The one thing I loved about that show was the fact that Ted and what's the boss chick's name?
Yep.
They didn't have a romantic relationship. It was 100%.
I never thought there was going to be one.
Yeah, neither did I. But I liked that they didn't do it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I love the fact that they were just friends.
It was platonic relationship where they were boss and employee who became very good friends because Ted is one of those guys who gets under your skin and
I love the way that they handled depression, like the depression and like he's all that kind of like the way he acts is because of what happened in his childhood and all that kind of stuff, and that was just so beautifully done. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, it's
it
Bill.
was.
It was Bill Schwartz, I think his name is.
can't remember.
It's the guy that did Scrubs.
Yeah, sure.
You can see his hands all over the show, like, because that ability to go from funny as fuck to I'm crying was just 100% Scrubs. But speaking of Scrubs, it's getting a reboot.
Oh, really?
Yep.
A reboot or an extension?
Original cast, like coming back. I don't think it's a reboot. Like, it's a continuation, but a
sure.
reboot kind of one of those new. It's like a new thing that they don't actually call it a reboot, but it's a reboot in the fact that it's new show that's not really relying on the old show, but it's still the old characters coming back kind of thing. So it's a continuation, but it's not a continuation at the same time. Yeah. A lot of the shows are doing that style of reboot now.
Sure.
Anything else you got, or shall I continue on?
This was a funny one. The Acolyte. So it cost $630,000 per minute of screen time.
How the sets looked fucking horrible. The costumes looked fucking horrible. No disrespect to anyone that worked on that show. You did your jobs, but
where was the money spent?
Yeah, did you guys go drinking every night? Yeah.
Was cancelled due to low viewership, and there are no plans to read the series.
No. And as we said in the last episode, Keanu Reeves fucking skipped one on that one.
100%. Are we going to do some movie rumors later?
Yeah, we got the movies rumors later.
Cool. I'll bring that one out.
Alrighty, so I want to talk about a show called Heels. Have you ever heard of this show?
I think I have, actually.
So
I definitely haven't seen it. But
this is a fantastic drama show based in the Texas wrestling world. I'm pretty sure it was Texas. It stars Stephen Amell from Arrow. Alexander Ludwig, who was Bjorn in Vikings. He's
awesome.
The oldest son in Vikings. And the other
definitely haven't seen it.
Most notable guy is Chris Bauer, who a lot of people would see from The Wire or True Blood. Very good actor as well. And there's lots of other lots of other actors in it who are great, and lots of cameos from a lot of wrestlers, like Mick Foley's in an episode.
Oh, yep.
And then you got like CM Punk is one of the wrestlers that works for their company and stuff. Sure. It's all about the behind the scenes. Like Stephen Amell and Alexander play brothers who run this company that their dad used to run this wrestling promotion, and they run it together now.
It's a similar premise to Iron Jaw?
Kind of. Iron Jaw, yeah, that was real. That was based on real thing. But this is based, like they're brothers and they wrestle. Stephen Amell is the
so it's
heel.
not based on...
No.
Okay, sure.
So Stephen Amell plays the heel, which for those of you who don't know the wrestling world, a heel is the baddie, a babyface is the good guy. Mm-hmm. And Alexander would normally play the babyface. Mm-hmm. And he's pretty good, and it's at the point where Chris Bauer's character was hired by like WWE essentially to come and watch him for him to go to the big show.
Sure.
And Stephen Amell was pretty much like he's not ready, and deliberately makes him fucking fail, and he hates it, and he goes to another company, he comes back, or lots of drama. It's a lot of drama in it. And then there's a female in it who's like, she wants to be a wrestler, but they're segregating her to just be like a sidekick essentially thing. Lots of stuff. There's family drama and all that kind of stuff as well. Really good show. It was on Stars. It ran for 2 seasons, and then Stars axed it.
Okay.
And it was devastating because it was a great show, but it's one of those shows where the subject matter is
very
kind
niche.
of it's fairly niche, and I think a lot of people didn't watch it because it was about wrestling, but it's not really about wrestling.
Yeah,
it's about them running a business, the family, the struggles on the family, all that kind of stuff. Like the dad who used to own the company killed himself whilst the younger one, played by Alexander, was in the house. Stuff like he came home, mowed the lawn, did all the stuff around the house, fixed all the things he had to fix, and then put a gun in his mouth and shot himself, kind of thing. And but Netflix, the hero, comes on in, swoops on in, and purchases it.
Okay.
And we're getting a third season, which is dropping on September 15th.
Okay.
And this is a great show, people. Like, you guys need to get out and watch
Have
this.
they gotten the rights to show season 1 and 2?
Not sure.
Okay.
Not sure, but I'm presuming if they bought the shows, all 3 seasons are going to be on there.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a fantastic show. And like,
Well, look, if it's getting onto Netflix and if they get the season 1 and 2, then I'll definitely give it a look.
and like, they're not big seasons either, so it's pretty easy to watch.
Okay.
And like, all the actors are fantastic actors.
Mm-hmm.
There's funny moments in it. There's moments where you're like, fucking hell, that's deep kind of thing. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I reckon everyone else will enjoy it. So it's coming to Netflix on September 15th. So if you want to prep yourself, watch season 1 and 2 before then.
Nice.
But yeah, it looked good. I'm looking forward to it. So let us move on to trailers once again. All right, Vox Machina. We talked about this not last episode, the episode before, so episode 31, I think it was. They released like a little teaser video, which was like a little 5-minute segment of it.
That wasn't even. I think it was like 2 minutes. Just them running through a city, fucking shit up.
Yeah, but
and it was awesome.
Yesterday we got the first trailer, and oh,
So
my
good.
God,
So good. We're going to Avernus. Fuck yeah.
This thing looked fucking amazing. Like the music in it, and like just the shots, and
Just fucking the little one-liners in there for fucking old mate. What's his name?
Grog. Oh. Was it? Why don't you pick on someone your own size? It's like, why don't you pick on someone bigger? I'm bigger. It's like, cross his fists together. It's like, ah.
They get locked into the chairs. It's like, oh, these chairs are really, really comfy. Someone did a good job. They've been
chairs.
trapped there. It looks incredible. I mean, the first 2 seasons were awesome. This is a continuation where looks to be awesome again. It's one of those shows that I really like where it comes out straight away and just makes it epic. Like, it's just big shit fucking happening straight away. Like, you immediately think, oh, okay, cool, everyone's going to die or the whole town's going to explode, and in a few cases it does. And yeah, it just...
Well, I mean, in the last season, they had that the like smog dragon that flew and just melted everyone's skin and shit.
Exactly. Like, that was the first episode of that season, and it just fucking keeps continuing through, and it does it every time. Like, it is such a good show. It's got gore, it's got the emotional element, it's got character development, it's got individual arcs with the characters where they go off and do their own little thing and sort of got to work through those as well. It's so fucking well written show, and to be
Which
based
we mentioned in the last.
Exactly. Yeah. And to be based on the fact that it's a group of people playing D&D and they just sort of brought it into this world as well. Amazing.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, D&D is literally just a writer's room. You're sitting down and you're creating a story, especially if you're doing like a campaign written by the DM. It's a storytelling session, and you are writing a TV show, essentially. You're sitting down and each session is an episode of a TV show, really. So it's kind of, they're doing the work, and then all they're doing is kind of hiring professionals to come in and tidy it up.
Exactly. And thank you for doing that, because it comes across so fucking well. It's incredible.
Such a good fucking show, and I am so much looking forward to this season.
I don't think it's far away either. I think it was October.
Yeah, something like that, I think, yeah. And it's, just yes, 100% fucking yes. Get out there and watch this trailer.
100%.
If you're not a fan, if you haven't watched it because you're like, oh, D&D, I'm not going to watch a show based on D&D.
You can't tell.
Why are you listening or watching this? Because you're not actually a nerd, and you're probably like, what are these guys fucking rambling on about? And they've been doing it for 33 episodes. Why are you still listening to us after 33 episodes?
And thank you for still hanging in there for 33 episodes.
Yeah, thank you very much. We really appreciate that. But even though it's based on D&D, it's got nothing to do really with D&D. Like, there's no nerdness about it. It is just a fantastically written fantasy TV show.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're bards, they're fighters, there's magic through it and whatnot. So that's literally the only references to it. But unless you know D&D, you're not going to know that they're references to D&D.
Yeah, if you don't play D&D, you don't know what a fucking gluttonous cube is, or a fucking owl bear and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly. It's just something on the screen. You go, oh, cool.
There's a bear with an owl's head. Look at that. That's funny.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, 3rd of October, we get see episode 1 and 2.
Excellent. I do look forward to it so much. All right. Let's move on to Azrial.
This looks sick.
Yeah.
This looks really fucking good.
So,
this is really, really fucking good.
This one is I'm not sure any of the details. Brock will look that up for us right now. But Azriel, basically, it's Samara Weaving living in a post-ruptured world, meaning the rapture, where God's like, yo, those worthy, come up to heaven. The rest of you, fucking stay on earth and deal with the demons. And essentially, for some reason, this little tribe of humans are like, no, Samara Weaving, you must get out there and deal with the demons. And she's like, I ain't doing that, and runs away. And then essentially, but from what I got from the trailer, no one's allowed to speak, because I think it's...
I couldn't tell from that, but I definitely noticed that nobody said anything.
I think it came up with some text or something like that, but it's no one's allowed to speak, because if you speak, it attracts the demons, I'm presuming, right. Which is essentially the John Krasinski movie. So...
Quiet Place.
Yeah, Quiet Place. That's the film I was thinking of. But yeah, it's got Samara Weaving in it, one of ours. Yeah.
So it's directed by E.L. Katz. I just had a quick look, and there wasn't really much that I recognised.
It's a Shudder film as well. So yes. Shudder's the horror subscription service.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It is written by Simon Barrett. As AJ said, we've got starring Samara Weaving. We've got Vic Carmen Son. Nathan Stewart Jarrett as well.
I didn't really recognize anyone except for Samara Weaving.
Yeah, neither did I, to be quite honest. When's it coming out? 2024. That doesn't help me. It was out in South by Southwest on March 9, September 27. So it's actually not too far.
So it came out 2 days ago, didn't it? Wait, it's August right now, not September. So next month.
Mm-hmm. Month away. That's awesome.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm super keen. Like, this looks like a really awesome horror. Almost like it gave me vibes of like a cat and mouse thing.
Mm-hmm.
So a cat and mouse thing with you've got whoever these town folk people are, like getting some sort of sacrifice, as well as
I think that's what it's going to be, a sacrifice. She's going to be a sacrifice.
As well as the demons who are now like trying to get their sacrifice, and I suspect that the demon will just rage because, hey, we went for our sacrifice and we're not getting our sacrifice.
Well, I'm very interested because of the name of the film, Azriel. Azriel is an angel.
Yes.
So was he one of the angels that got sent down?
No idea.
I don't know. I don't know any of that. But stuff. I just know that he's one of the angels, and I think he was one of the warrior angels.
Warrior angel, yeah.
Yeah,
I remember the warrior angel factor because there's parts of that through DC and whatnot with the character Azrael.
Yeah, yes.
Yes. It's like the
Batman one, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's like a righteous warrior. So he's doing good, but doing it in a very, very bad way. Yeah. Is probably the best way.
I'm pretty sure Azrael was in Supernatural as well.
Oh yeah,
from memory, he was one of the angels in Supernatural.
Well, there's like points in time through DC where Azrael's nominated as like the next Batman.
Well, he replaced Batman for a little bit at one point, didn't he?
Yep.
And he's still got the Batman armor, like the metal armor suit. Yeah.
Yep. Very, very cool character through DC Comics. But in any case, horror film looks awesome. It looks like there'll be some blood. It looks like there'll be some good jump scares. What I'm more so looking forward to, and it looks like they might have done this well, is this is the demon, and we're going to keep the demon on the screen, and you are still going to be scared even though you can see the demon there. Like, how they do that.
It's very much like he's blacked out, like he's a dark,
exactly,
black skin kind of thing, and like he hides in the shadows a lot. And
but I like the idea of we're going to put this here for you, and this is the thing that's going to scare you, and we've shown you it, and it's still going to scare you. Like, I like it when they can get that right. I think it gives you fucking chills. I hope they get that right. And if they do, fuck yeah, this movie
Yes,
will be awesome.
Very much so. Yeah, it looked awesome. All right, on to our last trailer for the day, and that is The Radleys.
Now, this one, I have written some stuff down.
Oh, look out, sir.
Release date, it's already out. 20th of August in Edinburgh. Directed by Eurus Lynn, so more prominent in TV with episodes of Daredevil, Black Mirror, Sherlock, and His Dark Materials.
That's some pretty good credits right there.
Fuck yeah, it is. And from starring perspective, we've got Damon Lewis. Favorite of his was Dreamcatcher, which was an awesome movie from back in 2003.
Yeah, that's a Stephen King novel.
Yeah, awesome.
And
movie.
most normal people would know him from Billions.
I haven't actually watched Billions.
Oh, dude, it is a good show.
So the one I was going to say was actually the most recognised
And
semi-recently
Homeland.
was Homeland,
Yeah, Homeland.
as Nicholas Brody.
But
He's been around for ages in heaps of stuff.
He's
good.
Great
He's
actor.
really good.
And Billions was...
That's fairly recent, isn't it?
They literally just finished the last ever season this year, I think.
Okay.
Because he left
Okay.
for like the last 2 seasons, and they've brought him back for the final season.
Sure. I think I've seen like various like little snippets and stuff when you get reels and whatnot, but I haven't actually seen
It's a really good show. It's pretty much like he's a billionaire, like stock trader, but he made his money during the fall of the World Trade Center, where he was meant to be in the office. Like his office was in the World Trade Centers. He was meant to be there, but he was off. He was away, and then it collapsed. And then he kind of took all that money and made a lot of money from it. Okay. And then also he's a little bit dodgy when it comes to the stock trades.
Fair enough. So yeah, we got him. We got Kelly MacDonald, who's in a whole bunch of other things. However, she was in Brave as Princess Merida.
Yes, she was.
And
she's in a great movie as well. I can't remember the name of it.
That doesn't help us at all.
But she's it's got David Tennant in it. And it's like she lives on this like tiny little Scottish island that no one knows about. And David Tennant goes there with this he's a writer, and he goes there because he's marrying this famous actress.
Right.
And kind of he gets stuck having to deal with her, go around and stuff, and they fall in love, all that kind of stuff. It's a rom-com. But
I was waiting for it.
It was a very funny movie. I love me some David Tennant. For those of you who don't know, Doctor Who. And yeah, it was really good. And afterwards, I'm like, because I'm watching it and I'm like, God, she seems familiar. And I just couldn't for the life of me pick her. And then right at the end of it, I've heard her say something. I've gone, that's fucking Brave.
The Decoy Bride?
Decoy Bride, that's the one. Yeah. It was a funny little movie. It was enjoyable.
Fair enough.
It was one of those movies, like I said, that you put it on, you don't have to think at all throughout the movie, and at the end of it, you're like, I feel a little better about myself now.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, she also reprised that role of Princess Merida in Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Oh, did she actually do the voice in that? Did she? Oh, nice. Good for her. That's awesome.
And Sophia.
That was a funny scene in that movie. Have you seen that scene?
I haven't actually seen the movie.
It's like the lollipop chick falls in, and it's all the Disney princesses.
Sure.
And they're like, it's like, did your prince, like, did he do this and did he do that? And she's like, no. And they're like, oh. Like, did your prince wake you with a kiss? And she's like, I don't think you're allowed to do that. It's like,
so just hitting on all the tropes.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, Sophia Di Martino, who you will all know as Sylvie from Loki.
Yes. With then, hopefully she doesn't have a mullet in it.
I think she does.
That was the only thing that ruined that series for me. Everything else was so good about that season, but that fucking mullet.
No, rep the mullet. Run it. Now this...
All right, so what is it about?
Vampires.
Yes, it is.
It is a dark comedy about vampires, and it looks fucking awesome. It looks really, really fucking good.
Pretty much in the trailer, you get the idea that they're just chilling on like animal blood and stuff like that. They're hiding. The kids go through, I'm guessing, puberty.
Yeah.
And they...
Vampire puberty.
Yeah, they get told they're vampires. And then the daughter accidentally kills someone. At this point, the dad, his twin brother rocks up and they get him to help bury the human. And then shit goes downhill from what looks to be like a vampire hunter or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, it looks cool. Like,
it looks great.
It looks really, really fun. And as you said, like dark comedy. I mean, they've got a little snippet in there where they say to the kids, like they're telling the kids what they are. Like, oh, you're sorry,
You're a vampire.
You're vampires. And what does he say?
Is that a metaphor?
Is this a metaphor for something? It's like, no, you're vampires. You're like, okay, that's pretty cool. So it looks like, I think it gets the sense that it will be based around the fact that the daughter has killed someone and they're trying to not be found.
Yes.
I think that'll be the driving component of the movie. They're trying to stay hidden in the small town. As you said, they don't go out and necessarily the typical vampire notion of going and killing all the people and drinking their blood. They get their blood elsewhere. And now I don't know if it's animal blood, like you said, or if it's actually human blood. I can't tell. You can't really tell from the trailer. You assume, like when I first seen it, I didn't even think animal blood. I just thought, oh yeah, they're getting human blood, but in other ways. But I think I like the thought.
I'm guessing it's animal blood because there's one scene where Merida, I'm just going to call her Merida, is in the bath and she drinks some blood and you see her like go like almost orgasm style face, and I'm guessing she's drunk some human blood and because that is the general trope with vampire stuff, like human blood tastes better than animal blood kind of thing. So I'm guessing that's kind of where it's going to go.
No, look, I think you're right there. They didn't give too much away, I don't think. I think they gave enough.
They gave enough to tell you the story of what's going to happen.
Yep. But how it all happens, fuck knows. Like, it looks really good.
The teeth look really good too. That's one of the big things in vampire movies. Like, how stupid do the teeth look?
Yeah, when the boy, he's in the bathroom or the amenity, whatever it is, and he just sort of like, you can see him like, oh, what the fuck's going on? And then he just sort of starts doing that vampire like howl, growl type thing at the mirror, and you just see the mouth come through and the teeth come through, and you're like, fuck yeah, that looks sweet.
It looks very, very good. All right, on to game. So we're going to talk about a fantastic little game now, or a couple of little games. So essentially, what we're going to talk about is a game from Fantasy Flight Games. Now, we talked about this briefly in our Gen Con episode, which is a couple episodes ago, and this is Marvel Champions. For those of you that don't know, Marvel Champions is what's called a living card game. This is a term coined by Fantasy Flight Games, and is essentially a TCG style format of you buy a booster pack each month kind of thing. But these booster packs are not randomized. They are...
You get what you get.
You get what you get. And it's everyone gets those same cards, so no one has an advantage over the other people by having super limited edition cards or spending $5 million to buy the perfect Magic the Gathering deck.
Yeah, there's no chasing singles in
this. Yes, no. So the living card game started with... I don't actually know what the first one was. I think it was the Call of Cthulhu LCG, which was Fantasy Flight purchased the rights to the TCG for Call of Cthulhu and released it as an LCG, and essentially reprinted a lot of the cards.
Naturally.
And I think then they continued on their own after that, and that went for many sets. I've got a lot of them, and it is a fantastic two-player game, like 1v1 style game.
I suppose that I think we might have mentioned this in the past, but one of the hard things about it is that if you don't keep on top of it and miss a pack, when it either becomes hard to get or goes out of print and you can't get it.
Yes.
That's where it does become a little more.
And then they've also done Android Netrunner, which was again an old TCG called Netrunner, which was created by Richard Garfield, the creator of Magic the Gathering. They bought that, and then they turned that into a living card game and released many, many sets of that. It was a very successful game, and it still is an amazing game. Still lives on. Fan run sets. They release them, and they have tournaments, all that kind of stuff. It is such a good fucking game, and all the fan run sets are free, and you just buy them. I think it's called Nisei.
Or buy a print.
You print them off, or you can actually buy the cards through like make playing cards and stuff like that, and you get it printed and sent off, and then proper cardboard, really good.
Sweet.
It's a fantastic game. They had the Star Wars living card game. which was also a very fun game. That was a competitive 1v1 game.
So from a play perspective then, have they more or less used the same mechanics? Because for me personally, I haven't played.
So, yeah, so they...
Same
Android
mechanics
was
with
pretty much the same mechanics. The Call of Cthulhu one, I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same game.
Sure.
Never played the original. Star Wars was an original game they created.
Okay.
It wasn't based on a previous one. Then they had the Warhammer Invasion LCG, which wasn't based on anything. It's really good. I've got the couple of starter sets over there, which I've never actually played.
So what they've done is they've created the living card game, and the only intent of that is, as you said, you buy a deck. The deck is what it is. You buy a booster pack. The booster pack is what it is, and then the actual gameplay itself is dependent on what they're releasing, i.e., Call of Cthulhu, Netrunner, Star Wars,
different games
Sweet.
and stuff.
Okay, that's awesome.
So you're still building a deck like you normally would in a TCG, but everyone has access to the same cards. And at this point, all of these games were competitive games. And then they released Warhammer Conquest, Warhammer 40k Conquest, which was a fantastic Warhammer 40k themed card game. It didn't last super long.
Okay.
I believe that is because that's when
IP.
Games Workshop and Fantasy Flight split.
Yep.
Because I don't think ever a reason was ever given, but it was conveniently at the same time that Fantasy Flight Games released Star Wars Legion, which was their miniature game.
Sure.
And a lot of people like Games Workshop's gone, you ain't releasing, you ain't having our IP if you're releasing a game that's competing against us. So we lost a lot,
especially with a name like Star Wars.
We lost a lot of good games. Like one of my favorite games, and it's my favorite deck builder, is the Blood Bowl card game. Sensational game, and unfortunately, I thankfully got everything for it.
I was about to say we should play that. We have played that.
Yeah. I got everything for it. It's a fantastic game. But back onto LCGs. Then they released the last competitive LCG they released was Legend of the Five Rings.
Okay.
Which was a TCG that they took and remade and released cards for. I wasn't a massive fan of it. I've got it. I've got the base set for it. It didn't really grab me.
Yeah, okay.
And a lot of people said the TCG was better, but also it suffered from like growing pains of the newer cards were stronger, and so they kind of made all the old cards obsolete, kind of thing. But the LCG, people like the LCG. Apparently, they changed a few things apparently, which made it a little bit different. But then they also released the game that changed it all for them, which was the Arkham Horror living card game. This game is sensational.
Now, we have spoken about this a couple of times because
I got you into this.
100% you did. My purchase or buy into this game was very fortunate in that someone had a copy. They were selling it secondhand via one of the social media marketplace type things. I picked up the base set and several.
I think it had a couple of expansions.
Several of the expansions, and for super cheap, which was awesome, as well as a nice little storage container.
Yes, and essentially this was their first cooperative game where you as the players play together against the game, and it changed everything for them because they kind of went gangbusters, and they're like, we're done with the competitive space. And so they stopped making any of their competitive games, unfortunately, and they went solely onto this game.
It seems like they're starting to get far more focused. Like rather than having a lot of different things out there in their hands and a lot of different things to adapt and develop and whatnot, they seem to have cut several things and just like, right, here's our peers or our pillars, and we're going to focus on them and just make them as good as we fucking can.
Arkham Horror is still going very strong. And
at the end of their revamp, so to speak, of where or their re-release, so to speak, of all their earlier pieces.
And then they released, which is quite possibly their biggest one to date, maybe bar Netrunner was a very popular game. Marvel Champions, which is what we're talking about now. So Marvel Champions, essentially it is people pick a superhero. You can play with their pre-constructed decks, which is pretty much all we do because it's just so much easier. And or you can take some of the extra cards you get and you can build your own deck. Essentially, you pick a hero. That hero has 12 specific cards, I think it is, that go with it. They have to go in your deck, and they also come with like bad cards, which go in the baddie deck. And then the rest of your 50 card deck, I think it was 40 or 50 cards, I can't remember. It can be whatever cards you want, essentially. And it's really good because the base game came with comes with Iron Man, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, and She-Hulk. And then the baddies are Ultron, Rhino, Claw. Yeah, they're the baddies. And you get lots of play out of that base game. You can play it solo. You can play it with 2, 3, 4 players. Plays really well at every single level.
Have you played this? I know because I know that we've done co-op, but have you played the solo?
I have played the shit out of this solo.
Fair enough. I kind of expected that answer.
It plays really well solo because everything is set to play a count. So like your baddie's level, let's say Rhino. Rhino's health when you start off is like, I think it's like 14, right? But if you're playing with 2 players, it's 28.
Okay.
If you're playing with 3 players,
yeah,
3 times it, 4 times it.
So I'm just having a look at the core box for Marvel Champions. It comes with Iron Man, Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, Black Panther, and She-Hulk. And you can bind them in some way, shape, or form, depending on how many players you've got, to take down either Rhino or Claw or Ultron.
Yeah, Ultron, yeah. So, and then every month thereafter, they have released like booster packs, so individual booster packs. The first one I think was called Wrecking Crew from memory. So I'm
having a look, and they've got...
Oh, no, it was Captain America.
Yeah, so they've got hero packs. As part of Wave 1, they had Captain America, Miss Marvel, Thor, Black Widow, Doctor Strange, and Hulk. So that was...
But then they also released like villain packs as well, which was like Wrecking Crew, Green Goblin, stuff like that. So you buy these little packs and they come with... New hero card comes with a pre-built deck, so you can play straight away with that character straight out of the packet, or you can use some of the cards in your other decks and all that kind of stuff. At this point, and then after like every 6 hero packs, I believe it is, they do like a big box pack. So the big box, they've had Hydra, they've had...
So I'm just having a look at the
Galaxy's Most Wanted, which is you get Groot and Rocket in it, and then like all the baddies from Guardians, the Mad Titans. So obviously you get
Thanos
and the Black Bobs.
I've just gone blank on what they are. The Black Order.
The Black Order, that's it. Sinister Motives, which is all Spider-Man's baddies. Next Evolution, which is all... And Mutant Genesis, which is all X-Men and X-Men baddies. And then Age of Apocalypse, which is obviously Apocalypse and the 4 Horsemen and all that kind of stuff. Now, I have Galaxy's Most Wanted, which we haven't really played with yet. And I've got the base set and a couple of the other hero packs and stuff. But it is a fantastically fun game.
So I've only played the one through. I played...
Which we split up twice, yeah?
Yep, Black Panther. I can't even remember. Oh, you were Star-Lord. We went up against Rhino and he kicked our ass.
No, I wouldn't say he kicked our ass.
That's true. He didn't kick our ass.
We beat level 1 and we got to level 2 and then we were very close, but we were teetering the whole time.
I think by the time... I think we probably could have finished it if we had like maybe 1 or 2 more rounds.
Yeah, we were pretty close.
We were close. But no, he just got us.
And that's a good thing about it. It's a fairly tough game. Like you're not going to win all the time, which is sometimes cooperative games struggle with that balance of letting the players win and the game winning, which this does really well. Like I think I've actually lost more times than I've won playing it.
Yeah, and that just comes down to the way that you do things at particular times. It can come down to some of the draws that whoever the baddie is comes out with, because some of their cards will do more damage to what want to receive, so to speak, or they just have a bit more of a negative effect than you want. And I mean, as you said, I think Fantasy Flight have sort of done this really well, really good balancing, because if you win all the time, it's boring. If you lose all the time, it's frustrating. So you need to find that balance between it so that it becomes like you get to the edge and you get beaten. So you're like, fuck, I nearly got there. Like we've got to play again so that we can get there. Like it has that want. And
that is one difference between this and Arkham Horror. Arkham Horror has that. It has replayability, but not as much replayability as this, because Arkham Horror, you're playing through stories.
Yes.
Each baddie you're versing is a story. And once you've done that story, you kind of know where it's going.
Yes.
It's more of a campaign, whereas this one is you're fighting essentially an AI played character. And it works super, super well.
Exactly.
One way I'll put it to is for those players who used to play the Warcraft TCG, they had these things called dungeon decks, where you bought it and essentially it was an AI controlled baddie that you and 3 other players played your standard normal deck against. Okay. So normally this was a 1v1 game. Essentially it's Hearthstone. So it's what Hearthstone's predecessor. It was World of Warcraft card game, and it became Hearthstone when it went digital. And it was fantastic. It was great fun. And essentially they've taken a lot of aspects from, it's kind of like they've taken those dungeon decks and smashed it with the Arkham Horror gameplay. Like that's the way Arkham Horror kind of works, and just smashed them together and just boom. The one other thing I really, really love about this game is the resource management. So most card games, when you're playing them, you put your mana down. Like, so let's say Magic the Gathering, you put mana from your hand, or Star Wars, you take some of your cards, put them face down. That's your mana. You tap them and you can play your cards. So you've got a card that costs 2, you tap 2 cards and you put it out. Whereas this one, when you're playing it, it's, if you've got a card that costs 2, you simply discard any 2 cards from your hand that have little symbols in the bottom color. It doesn't matter what color they are, discard 2 cards and you can play that card.
Or you might have some cards which are particular, like, because I know I had a few resource cards which might have 2 in the bottom corner, which means you can use them to do more. And one of the things that I did like about this is you don't deck out. So you're not as concerned about spending a card because you don't get it back later. So you can use it now because there's a good chance that you'll be able to cycle through. I think we went through 1.5 of the decks.
Yeah, I shuffled once, and I think we shuffled the baddie deck
twice. Yeah. So like there is that element of you are going through a card. So you can sort of, when you take that on board, you can kind of spend a little bit more to bring it, because at the end of each hand you draw back up to a number rather than just drawing 1 or 2 cards.
The one thing I really like as well is your hero has 2 sides.
Yes.
So you've got your alter ego side and you have your superhero side. If you're on your alter ego side, when you do an action with your hero card, you can pretty much, you heal. But your hand size is increased. So a lot of times it's like 6 cards. But when you flip over to your hero side, your superhero side, you can attack the baddie or you can try and remove threat from the scheme. But your hand side is normally less. Like I think from memory, Star-Lord's was 6 on his alter ego, on Peter Quill. And then when you went over to Star-Lord, it was 5. But it was 4, but I had cards that allowed me to draw more depending on like all my attachments and shit.
Sure. And then, for me, it was T'Challa at 6 and then Black Panther at 5.
But it is a really great. Funnily enough, I bought this when it first came out. I bought the starter set when it first came out. And I played it a couple of times and I was kind of like, I don't think this is for me. And I actually sold it. I got it on Facebook Marketplace, sold it.
Silly man.
Yeah, and then I kind of regretted it afterwards. Like I kind of got back around to playing more solo games. Like I got Sky Tier Horde. Fucking hell. Sky Tier Horde, which is a MOBA themed miniature game turned card game. And it's a solo game. You can play 2-player as well, but it is primarily a solo card game. And I played the shit out of that when I got it from Kickstarter. And it kind of it got me back into wanting to play this. And so I got the starter set, played it, a few times solo. I was like, yep, I'm back in.
Fuck, I'm in.
Yep, I'm gonna have to get all the hero packs.
Money.
So yeah, it is a fantastic game.
Highly recommend. Go out, give it a crack. Grab the base set. You can probably pick it up. I'm having
The
a look
base set
here.
is about 100.
$100.
I think it's 120 in
Yeah, okay.
Australia
Yeah.
from memory.
100, $120. Have a look around. If you can pick up a second-hand one, go nuts. It's good fun. I definitely enjoyed it.
There is if you're a tabletop simulator player, there is a very good mod on there that has all the cards, so you can play it on Tabletop Simulator if you do not want to go out and spend $120. But by spending money, you're continuing to make people make games, etc., etc. I mean, Fantasy Flight Games aren't broke; they're owned by Asmodee, which is the biggest board game company in the world. So they're never going to run out of money. But
I think they're doing all right.
But yeah, give it a go. If you're a fan of Arkham Horror, you will very much like this as well.
Definitely.
It doesn't have the story travel around aspect that Arkham Horror card game has, but it has a very similar feel in the play of the cards and stuff. But it's kind of like Arkham Horror, but a bit more TCG-ish.
I think one thing to say is that if you want something where you want that, as you said, the story, you want that, there's definitely more involvement in Arkham Horror. I feel you get more involved in the game, more engrossed in the game, where if you just want something that's a little simpler to play and's got far more replayability, Marvel Champions.
Oh, 100%. It's super replayable. And I believe the next expansion, I think we mentioned this in the Gen Con special, the next expansion is going to be Nick Fury, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like the next big box, and it's like the 50th expansion for it. It'll be expansion right. 50.
Well, there's, as I'm looking here, there's campaign expansions. There's 8 hero waves.
Which are 6 per.
6 per. There are scenario packs, just one lot of 5 of those.
Which one's the top one for that? Is that the Green Goblin? Yes, they're the ones that I was talking about before. Like they're the baddie packs.
So they're not. Yeah, so the villain packs, they're called scenario packs. And I understand why they've called them that now, because that's what you are playing through.
They are scenarios, yeah.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense.
It really does.
But no, look, even like just having a look at these, like straight out of the bat, I want to get, the Hood. I reckon that'd be sick.
He's going, isn't he? He's going to be in the live action, isn't he? He's the baddie in. What is it? He's going to be the baddie in something. It was announced.
That narrows it down.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? What is it? I think it's a female-led one. Oh, is it Thunderbolts? Is he the baddie in Thunderbolts?
I don't know.
It's one of the ones that's coming out soon.
No, I haven't. I hadn't seen. I honestly haven't read much into Thunderbolts, other than it's coming and seen that photo of them in the elevator.
Yep, which has pretty much been in every single Marvel movie.
Yep. Other than that, I honestly have not looked into Thunderbolts at all.
Yeah, no, but yeah, it's good fun. I've got Wrecking Crew as well, I think, from memory. Yes, I do. Cool. And I've got Green Goblin. I played the Green Goblin one solo. It was not the best of the scenario packs, in my opinion. And I've read online that a lot of people were big fans of the Green Goblin scenario pack. But it comes with 2 different scenarios you can play in it, I think, from memory. But yeah, and also if you do have this and you do like it and continue to sort of buy more and more packs, go on Board Game Geek, and under the base game there are some fantastic dividers that the dude's made for pretty much every set. Has I printed them all off and laminated them, and they're great. They're super helpful to separate all your cards.
They're super helpful when people know how to use them. I may have put them on the wrong side of a label.
Mate, you've only been gaming for like 2 years. You're excused, buddy.
Thank you.
You know, once you have a collection like mine, you got to know these things.
Once I have a collection like yours, I'll be kicked out of the house.
Yeah, you got to have a patient wife for that one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is about all time we've got for this one.
It
We
is.
kind of went a little bit over our 40-minute time there that we were talking about, but it's fine.
Does not surprise
Does
me
not
in the
surprise us
slightest.
at all. Just remember, guys, like we said at the top, we got the playtest for Underground Dice Races. You can go to a playtest at zendaragames.com for the email and say you want to have a go.
Yep.
Patreon, $5 a month helps us out greatly. You get early access to our plays games, and I believe we've just dropped a DC deck builder video on the Patreon, which will be out in 2 weeks for normal people. And Zachary is playing on that one with us.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think the next episode will be Sagrada,
Cool.
I believe. Yeah, that's about it from us, guys.
Yep. Check us out on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook. Follow along. You'll see all the stuff that we like to put up there with some of the stuff we got on the hobby desks and whatnot. And a bunch of other random shit that we like to put on there and share. Yeah. Stay frantic.
All right, peace. You can check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, and wherever all good podcasts are listened to. On YouTube, you can check out the latest episodes just after the podcast is uploaded.
Follow along the journey on our Facebook and Instagram. You follow me, Frantic Brock, on Instagram, and you can follow AJ, Weird Art by AJ.
See ya.